Great father-son duo.
No, we made sure we started them young with the shovel and the pick, and that's how I learned from my father.
My name's Anthony Herman. I am obviously the son of the amazing Dana White of Hardscapes here. I mean, I'm kind of just in the transition of taking over and kind of getting an aspect of everything that goes on in the business.
And then last year we said, hey, there's a lot of technology we're bringing into the company now. I'm old, and I put him in charge of all technology in the company.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cost of Doing Business podcast. We are on set on a beautiful location here. Would this be considered the Poconos?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so we're here in the Poconos, northeastern Pennsylvania, and we're in a pretty large hardscape project, swimming pool. It's literally in the middle of construction, probably a little less than half done, or about half done-ish.
About half done.
Yeah, I'm here with Anthony Mann Jr. and Anthony Herman-Mann. I'm gonna just ask you, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Give us your name of your business, and give us an idea of what your business looks like, how many team members, how long you've been in business, that kind of thing.
Anthony Mann Jr., company's the Anthony Group, and we also have Anthony Winter Services, which is our snow and ice company. We are a hardscape excavating concrete foundation contractors. We do residential, commercial, mostly high-end residential. Been in business since I was 8 years old. Started out cutting lawns like a lot of the guys in this business do, and sold that out of college. I went to school for landscape design and construction management, cut lawns through then sold that. I was 1989, they did pavers around my father's pool.
Huh.
And
89.
He was the first or the third house in North Jersey to have pavers installed.
Really?
He was friends with the owner of the company. So the owner's house was done first, then their president of the company was done second, and my father's house was done third. I was probably like 13, 14-ish. And I was out there and we were helping the Masons, because Masons did all this. I'm a third generation Mason. My grandfather came from Italy and he built a lot of the churches, did natural stone work, built churches, buildings down in Newark, New Jersey.
That's amazing.
So it's in my blood.
Yeah.
And my son Anthony, he's fourth generation Mason now, getting pretty good at it now.
Well,
I'm very impressed.
I'd say.
So,
My name's Anthony Herman. I am obviously the son of the amazing Dana White of Hardscapes here. I mean, I'm kind of just in the transition of taking over and kind of getting an aspect of everything that goes on in the business. And I'd like to say SynkedUP has been a huge part for me, because I've always it's been a struggle for me to go from being in the field all day, doing hands-on work, to sitting down all day doing computers. That was kind of a challenge for me, but I mean, when you have the right technology, the right people, and the right systems in place, it really becomes a breeze. And that's something that came very apparent to me. That's something I've definitely learned, is to make sure that your systems, your people, and everyone is one good thing of communication and trust and respect.
communication.
And how long have you been involved in the business on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, I've been doing this ever since I can remember, ever since I could touch the pedal on the truck. I've been doing some, hey, just move
Looking
around.
between the dash and the top of the steering wheel, huh?
You know, sitting on my dad's lap on the machine, on the excavator. But I mean, I think I've been in the business like very much so, like actually being a part of it for probably the last 3 to 4 years, I would say.
4 years.
4 years. And I mean, I've slowly went from the shoveler and the laborer to starting to slowly install stuff, to running machines, to kind of transitioning to more of a leadership role.
Sure.
So, and I've taken a lot of my friends with me along this journey. I definitely have one now I can see as a future ops manager and maybe a foreman. I'm very happy with my progress, and I thank you for getting me there so far.
Well, you earned
Great
it.
father-son duo.
No, we made sure we started them young with the shovel and the pick, and that's how I learned from my father, and I wanted him to learn every aspect. So 2 years ago, or last year, I took him off of pavers, and he said, Dad, why are you taking me off of pavers? All I want to do are pavers. And I'm like, because you need to learn every part of the business when you're going to run it. He hated concrete. Well, now he's turned into an amazing concrete finisher. Now he's like, when are we doing concrete again? So, and then last year we said, hey, there's a lot of technology we're bringing into the company now. I'm old. I'm technically challenged. I admit it, and I put him in charge of all technology in the company.
Yeah, and so there you go. There's the leadership side.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome.
And our leadership team consists of myself, our ops manager now, Frank, and then Anthony and one of his friends that he brought in, another 18-year-old, Riley, who is just an amazing young kid who has drive, ambition, wants to have a future in this business, so we're setting him up for success. And he's basically going through what Anthony went, learning every little aspect of it, and then he kind of shadows our ops manager now, so he can learn what he does and the roles he does. So as Frank moves up, Riley can move up.
Yep. So what is your bread and butter type project? Like, what's the kind of project that's like day in, day out, we'll kill it?
The large outdoor living with all the features in it. It used to be just, you know, the patio, but now we've done so many, we've earned the reputation of being the go-to guy for an outdoor living project in our area. So I think those just work with our crews. Our crews like being on the same job for 3-4 months. We know every step of what we're doing from start to finish, so it makes it very easy. You know, we're not going back putting in sleeves underneath things because we don't know what we're doing and we forgot. Like, you know, everything is planned out from stage one of the project. And we also like to move dirt. You know, anything that's got some excavating in it, you know, large retaining walls, we like that as well.
Sure. You guys were on the Cambridge catalog, no?
Yep. So 3 years ago, one of our projects was selected. That was put in for a new wall product they had released, and we used it and did a lot of detail work with it. And they put us in there. We've been in there for 3 years now. And
really?
Yep.
Three consecutive
Three
years?
consecutive years,
Wow.
and we're hoping for next year to have 2 more projects in there.
Incredible. It shows. I mean, you guys, this isn't, what we're sitting on here, out here, is amazing. I need to get the drone out here too.
Absolutely, break it out.
And it's a beautiful location. Like, there's pine trees, we're in the middle of the woods, like, it's awesome.
Very private, very secluded,
yeah.
And the house is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
These are the types of projects we like to work on.
Yeah.
It's great for social media. It's great to show our clients, like, this is the style of work we can do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we can leave here, look at what we built, and know that our clients are just going to enjoy this for a lifetime to come.
Mm-hmm.
My best thing happens when my clients send me a picture of their family.
Yeah.
Out here enjoying it. You know, we have one client we did this amazing backyard for, and I got pictures. They set movie screens up every Friday night, and as a family, they had a big gas fire table. They liked the fire table up. They played that night. They had the Goonies playing, and just to see a family sitting out there on their patio enjoying what we were able to build them, that's my passion.
Yeah.
That's my passion.
That's awesome. To kind of kick into some under the hood stuff, what is one of the biggest challenges you've overcome?
Being a businessman. I was always get your hands dirty,
Yeah.
out here in the field, putting pavers in, landscaping, running heavy equipment, doing the work. But then when I decided that I wanted to scale the business and have a real business, I needed to become a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably the hardest part for me. And I'm still not there yet. I'm learning every day.
You're always climbing that ladder, so to speak. Yeah, you never stop.
But now that I've taken myself out of the business, started working on the business instead of in the business, we've been able to scale, grow our revenue, grow our employees, grow a place that people want to come to work, a reputation, predominantly the only hardscape company in our area. There's a lot of landscapers that come out and do paver projects and stuff, but we don't consider ourselves a landscape. We're a hardscape contractor.
Sure.
This area was lacking that. So we also have an office in Jersey where it's a flooded market with hardscapers, landscapers. And when we came up here, I moved up here 18 years ago from Jersey.
Okay.
And I've always went back down to Jersey to work. 4 years ago, right before COVID, we did the project that went into the Cambridge catalog.
Okay.
She posted that on Facebook or something, and my phone just blew up here, and we haven't been able to leave this mountain since then. And now with COVID, we have everybody flocking from Long Island, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. You know, our workload has been more than it ever has. I mean,
Wow.
Right now we're booked out through probably September.
Wow.
With estimates going out every day.
Incredible. So what does your office in Jersey still do?
It's actually just a yard now. So that's where our main office was for 20 years down there.
Okay.
But then when we moved up here to the new shop, we just kept the outside yard there. And it basically just is a satellite. You know, we have a couple tools there. If we're on a big job down there, we can park some trucks in there. But just have a place to, you know, have one bin there. We can put some materials in if we need to.
Yeah.
It services our Jersey projects that we
Yeah.
do. So we still do quite a bit in Jersey. All of North Jersey, Bergen County, Morris
Okay.
County, Sussex County, predominantly Sussex County.
Okay.
But we do have a couple projects that, you know, we have a lot of clientele that we work for year after year down in Jersey, so we could never just leave, pick up and leave.
Understand.
You know, they're good people. And not that we're ever at the yard down there, kind of just sits there. You know, our home base is just, it's nice, it works.
Yeah.
We're only 30 minutes from the bridge to Jersey.
Sure.
Or not even, we're 20 minutes to the bridge, and then about 30 minutes to Sparta, where
Okay.
we do most of our work
So it's
down
an
there.
hour, yeah.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes.
Okay.
A lot of my employees still live in Jersey, so those guys, they go right to those job sites.
I see.
We'll just set a Connex box up, put the equipment there, and let the guys go to work every day.
What about you? What's the biggest challenge you overcome?
So far, and I am still working on this because nobody's perfect, is probably balance. Ever since I first stepped foot on a job site, I never wanted to leave. That meaning, like, I never really made time for myself. I wouldn't want to be hanging out on a Saturday. I'd be wanting to work on a Saturday. Or like, I wouldn't make plans with my friends. I would be here. Our number one core value as a company is family first, and I think that's something that's overlooked in this field, is that there has to be a sense of balance. Enjoy time with your family, enjoy it because you never know when things happen and people go. Like, I've had to step back a little bit and learn that there's more than just a job site.
And you have over the last 3-4 months, I've noticed.
Yes, I've kind of understood, like, wow, you know, I'm 18. This is the prime of my life. I love being here, but I also had to make memories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially being in high school. I mean, I'm on the co-op program, which is basically I leave my high school around, like, I say 11:30 every day, and I come here and I go to work. And then after that, get out around 6, 7, I'm going to the gym. And then it's already like 10, 11 o'clock. I've kind of like, you know what, I need to step back a little bit and make some memories, meet some great friends, and just kind of enjoy being a kid. But also, I feel like I have such a great mindset of wanting to be here and wanting to work hard and wanting to just expand that. I don't feel like most kids have nowadays.
Yeah, it's pretty self-aware, man.
He's not like many 18-year-olds, I'll tell you that. So
that's fantastic. What is one of the best pieces of advice you've been given?
I have 2. First one came from my mother when I was a young little boy. She said, you can be anything you want. You can be a garbage man. Own the company. You can be anything you want, own the company. I've had an entrepreneur in me since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Then my father was control the water, you control the project. So he taught me, when you come out on these job sites, you gotta look at the water. Control that water, you control the whole project from design to build to final product. Those 2 things have stayed with me my entire life.
I like it. You can be a garbage man, but own the company.
Own the company.
How did that begin translating into real shoe leather for you?
I had work ethic from my father. He left the house at 5:30 in the morning and came home at dark, covered in head to toe, you know, in dirt and grease. And so just work ethic. Every weekend I worked with him. I had one job when I was 16 as like a busboy. Then I had my company, went through school, and then there was about an 8-year period where I went into the union. Just got frustrated with business, wasn't making any money in it. I was young, dumb. I went into the union, I was a crane operator. Then I lost my eye and they took my crane license from me.
You did?
Yeah, I had so I was doing a side job because I had a passion for this. So I was doing a paver hardscape job on a Saturday after I got done running the cranes, and I was putting the banding that goes around the pavers into a garbage bag, the plastic ones. And when we cut the band, we didn't cut all the way through, so sometimes you make that double cut and the little pieces hanging off. Well, that band popped off, went right through my eye. That piece of plastic got stuck in there and I had to have a corneal transplant done.
You can still see out of that eye?
I can see shape and size. I've had 3 or 4 laser surgeries since then. About a month ago, I realized that I can actually read again with this eye.
Wow.
Without glasses, because I wear reading glasses to read. And then one day I couldn't find my glasses and I had to do my reading. And I picked my book up and I was like, whoa, I'm reading with my bad eye. And it was crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, I had about an 8-year period where I was running heavy equipment and cranes on high-rise buildings, tower cranes, doing bridges, parking decks, anything with equipment.
Sure.
So I guess it's just been in me. Entrepreneurship has been in my blood, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think mine would be, everybody says, you know, nothing's free. I don't think that's true. For me personally, it costs me no money to be the best version of myself every day. It costs me no money to come out here and be the best I can be for these guys, be the nicest, always have a positive attitude, and always look at the positive side of things. You can have this project look perfect. Nothing could be wrong. You can have one person on social media, oh, you look, there's that little lines off.
Get a 4-corner.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you. Like, I would just say be positive, especially for these guys when they're out here busting their tails all day. I mean, when they have someone that comes here and says, hey guys, I got you drinks, I'm so proud of you, guys are killing it. Does that cost me anything as an owner? Does that cost me nothing? For these guys, it means everything. Yeah. So I just say be the best version of yourself and always keep a smile on your face.
Yeah, no, that's good. I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that.
I think you're a good example of that. I've never seen you upset. I've never seen you, every time I've ever seen you, you have that, like, just that smile, like you're always happy.
I appreciate it. We are all human beings. We all have challenges and problems to solve, but you're right. Your advice is great in that it doesn't cost anything to be the best version of yourself. That's key. You've been in business a long time and you started, went to the union, came back. If you go back to the day that you started, what is one thing that you would do differently?
I think the biggest thing I would do, business education, mentors, coaches, instead of trying to learn everything on my own. That's when my company made the big shift. When I started to focus on myself and my personal development and brought people around me that were better than me and learned from them. That's when I was able to start scaling. Back when I was younger, your competition would drive down the road and you would just look the other way. Now with social media and everything, everybody's waving at each other. So be friends with your competition, talk to them, embrace them, congratulate them, work with them. You're gonna learn a lot from your competition. Just because they're competition doesn't mean they can't be your friend. I have employees that worked for me that have left and started their own companies. They're some of my best friends. I'll do anything for them. I will help them out. We throw them work, they throw us work. Stuff they can't, that they know they can't handle, that we can handle, they throw to us. We get a couple jobs that might be too small for our crews to handle, we throw it over to them. So becoming friends with the competition, getting a business coach, getting a mentor, talk to somebody who's been doing this for 20 years. Just become friends with them. They're gonna wanna help you. I didn't have that that when I was younger. And now with the digital world, it's everywhere. Just make sure that the coach you or mentor you get has built something and isn't just a coach. So I think that's the big point there.
100%. Another way you could paraphrase that is focus just as much, if not more, on what it takes to be a good business as opposed to what it takes to do a good patio, a good product. I don't know. Have you ever read The E-Myth?
No, it's on my bookshelf.
Okay,
but I have not read it.
So you know about the book?
Yes, I know about the book.
Because like it basically talks about the technician or the craftsman that has an entrepreneurial seizure, and they like, I love to do this work. I'm good at it, so I'm going to start a business doing it. And then they realize like, oh, that's like 10% of success is knowing how to do the work. Right. You know, the rest of it is actually how to run a business.
And hire the right people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm not good in the office, so we hired an office manager. Anthony's now in charge of technology. I am 100% client relationships and sales. So I hired an ops manager, and he runs day-to-day operations, scheduling. He talks to all the employees, you know, but he also goes out on job sites and works. Hiring the right people, putting the right people in the right place, not putting, you know, a laborer to go finish concrete.
Right.
You know, make sure you have the right people in the right place.
Yeah. So you've been at it for 4 years?
4 years.
If you go back to that day and talk to the 14-year-old self, what would you tell him?
I would have went back to my like 10-year-old self and told him, hey, get prepared and get ready. Like something as simple as going back and learning how to read a tape measure when I was younger, or like just learning my communication skills better. Anything. Start sooner and get more of my friends involved. Get the younger generation, because we're going to take over. I wish I had more than just Riley. I mean, I'll find people now, but I wish I had organic growth with more people.
A 14-year-old saying start sooner.
And honestly, this is a big one too, is just don't be afraid to fail. Honestly, I mean, I was always scared to pick up the demo saw because I was like, oh, what if I messed up that cut? Well, if I never picked up the demo saw, I never would have learned how to make a straight, perfect cut or how to do 45s.
We were just talking about the whole thing of failing faster, and we were talking about the sales process with John Valento on our last recording. We were saying like, if you're gonna get a no, you want to get that no as soon as possible, which is a kind of the same concept as if you're gonna fail, you want to fail as soon as possible, so you know what doesn't work, so you can try the next iteration.
Failure is the best way to learn. I showed you a wall we're taking down because somebody didn't put it in right. I'm not afraid to admit that. Everybody's showing everything on social media is perfect and, you know, hides behind it. But listen, we still mess up. But you know what? Take responsibility and fix it. That's what I think makes a good installer, when you can recognize, hey, I messed something up. Let's go. Let's take this down and fix it. And it happens. It happens to all of us. And anybody that says it doesn't is lying.
That's true.
So,
you signed up for SynkedUP, is it a year ago?
I'd say a year and a half now. We were in the holding pattern for the first 6 months, just sitting on our computer, because I don't like change. So it kind of sat there, and he kept, when are we going to do SynkedUP? When are we going to do SynkedUp? And that's when I finally said, well, you're in charge of technology now. That's when he dove in and got out of the field and into the office.
So with that, you said you're technologically challenged. Why did you buy it?
Because I knew it would help grow the company, and we could see our numbers. We were a mess in the office. We wanted to see and make sure that we were covering our overhead. I didn't know if we were covering our overhead, and we were growing so fast that if we missed one little thing, we could fail real quick. So seeing the processes that are put into place using SynkedUP, we knew that it would help us grow. And we knew when we got to a certain point, we wouldn't make it any farther if we didn't put a system into place that could track our overhead, could recover our overhead, could look at our budget. If we don't know our budget, how do we recover it? Seeing you at some trade shows, seeing the system, then seeing the people on social media using it and showing like what this system does, it kind of prompted me to say, hey, it's time to get with technology. That's when we implemented it.
What stands out to you? Like, what makes you keep on renewing every month? What's been the biggest help?
The customer service is second to none. You have a question, it is answered like that. Your team is there to support us. And when you get support, it makes it easier. Knowing our numbers, knowing when we put an estimate in, that as long as we complete it in those man hours, that we win. We win that job. Because at the end of the day, doesn't matter how beautiful your project is, doesn't matter how bad your project is, we're here to make money. And if we're not making money, there's no reason to be a business.
It's a hobby. I like that you highlighted as long as you get it done in those man hours, because that's key.
Yes.
You know, most contractors don't struggle with calculating material costs and that kind of thing. It's like,
labor.
how long is it going to take? Labor, and are we charging the right rate?
And these bigger projects, this is where you could lose
That's
real
where the
big
risk-
if you don't bid it right.
That's 100%
So
true.
now, going on to the next one, we can look back at these.
And you have history.
We have history.
Yep. And you have that estimated versus actual. Like, so let's say you bid another job like this later this year, after this one's done, and you're like, it's kind of similar. This is the same element here, same element there. Let's go back and look what we estimated that one for. Okay, cool. Now let's go look at the actual. Ooh, that one was a little off. This one was bang on. And then you're more informed on your next estimate. It's like a flywheel that goes around and around. Every time you estimate a job, it gets more and more and more accurate.
To prove that point, last year at the summit, we went out to the Tussey job. That was a massive job.
Yeah, it was huge.
They said that they were in like 4 man-hours of their estimated. Yeah. Like, to estimate that large of a job and be within 4 man-hours.
I think there was over 2,000 man-hours in that job. To give you context of how
when you
that was.
see that, you don't do that the first time.
No.
That takes some practice. So that's what we're working on now.
You have to track stuff, because if you're not tracking, let's say I have my budget done. I have math that is perfect on paper. My rates are perfect. But then I bid a job at 100 hours, just as an example. It takes me 150 to complete it. I still lost money.
Yes.
Doesn't matter that my math was perfect on paper. I lost money. Back to this whole thing of like knowing how to do the work, but not focusing on the business. If you're not tracking that stuff and you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know.
You can't fix it. And what's gonna happen is the first indication is gonna be cash flow. And by the time your cash flow is drying up, it is months downstream of the source of the problem, and you're gonna be wondering, well, what do I need to change? What's wrong? You don't know, because you haven't tracked. I've given the analogy in some of my talks, not tracking, not job costing, is like taking a rifle to a shooting range, putting the crosshairs right on the bullseye, squeezing off the perfect shot, but never looking where you hit. Chamber another round, waste another piece of ammo, shoot again, never look where you hit. And unless you go up there and walk up to that target and look where you hit so you can course correct that scope, you're shooting blanks. Yeah. You have no idea.
Good analogy. The way to think about it.
What about you, Anthony? I know you've really been taken over or been involved in a lot of different factions of the business. What is it about SynkedUP that makes it worth spending $400 or $500 a month on something that you don't see unless you open up a screen?
Where do I even start? I mean, honestly, with these guys, if they're like, oh, I don't know if I got paid right, or oh, I don't know what's going on, is everything's documented. I say documentation is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
With jobs, with material, everything is, and then you can always look back, just like you were saying. I mean, you both proved all my points that I was going to say. So, I mean,
sorry, brother.
No, it's okay. But I mean, it makes zero sense not to have it. Like you need it, especially at a company our size, with how we're growing.
Well, why not pen and paper?
Because then, where's that? You're looking for that piece of paper for what? 2,000 files.
That's me.
What about spreadsheets? You can do amazing math in spreadsheets.
At the end of the day,
it's just a spreadsheet.
It's all right there and synced up, and you have an amazing customer. There's no customer support.
When you can hit a button, when you can hit the button and see this job, what your profit was, it'd take you hours on spreadsheets to do that. This is a 2 clicks. When you're done with the job, you close it out. There's your numbers.
And it's real time.
It's real time.
Even throughout the job.
Yes.
We could look at that net profit right now.
Yes. and at least then we can make adjustments, and say, hey guys, maybe we got to pick this up a little bit. I might have messed up on the man hours, but I need your help to fix this.
Yeah. Something I see a lot is people that they want to make money, they want to save time, they want to make it easier, but there's this belief that, oh, I'm technologically challenged, so I don't use tech. Or, oh, that kind of stuff is for companies bigger than me. By the way, we have one-man shows using SynkedUP,
And they should.
Yeah. So I think for years you kind of lived somewhat under that belief.
I was a paper and pen guy my whole life.
So what would you say to someone that thinks they're a one-man show, three-man show, like they think they don't need it? Or they think it's like, why would I spend that when I can do it in Excel? Why would I do that when I can do it?
If they're looking to grow their company fast and right, you need to have the analytics that the program gives you. Because it gives you more than you're going to get from the spreadsheet. And looking at spreadsheets all day is no fun. and you're, numbers. After a while, when you see a graph and then you see a number red or green, it's simple. And it makes it very easy to course correct. Spreadsheets, they'll help you course correct. But when you see that graph and you see, okay, that job lost money, the next one I'm going to bid, I'm going to make sure that those numbers are right. One thing I still do, because we're still learning, I still do estimates the old-fashioned way. These guys then go and put the estimates into SynkedUP into the system.
So you kind of get your thoughts out from your head into write it down and then give it to them.
No, I don't give it to them. They take the same measurements I had and they put their material in, their labor in.
Oh.
But then we go and we compare because I'm old school. But we have been within a couple dollars on 90% of the projects.
Almost spot on.
We had one where SynkedUP made us more money, and we had one where I think one of the first ones, and I think we had to make some adjustments. SynkedUP has had us real low on it. We went back and found where we were low and adjusted some numbers. Since then, they have been now, okay, just put it in the system. I don't need to do it on pen and paper anymore.
So it's like this confidence thing.
Yes.
Okay, I know the system that's got me me to here.
Yes.
Here's a new one.
Yes.
Let's sanity check this a little bit.
But now I know, now I have 100% buy-in. And it's actually quicker doing the estimates because you just click, click, click. The setup was a little time consuming.
Yeah.
Putting in the item catalogs and all the material that we use so many different materials.
Right.
That was time consuming, but I don't ever have to go look for that anymore. When I was doing the estimates the other way, I'm going through old estimates. Now it's just a click. So it's gonna save time over, I mean, would it take us a month and a half to get the whole thing set up? And then, I mean, Fred, with the budget, I mean, it was 2 hours and he had our whole budget dialed right in seamlessly. I think it took me longer to get all the information to give to him to find, okay, hey, what was that truck? Well, what's our insurance? Getting him that information. He put it all in, and at the end of our phone call, I mean, it was, here's this, and he explained everything to where I understood it. So the customer support, again, is huge in it. It's not, here's software, go figure it out.
Yeah.
You've got the people that want to help you. The culture that you guys have built in the company is helping people. It makes our lives a lot easier. One thing I had to do, I was sharing this with you before, since I'm not a tech guy, I actually took a month, and every day, one of my tasks was to learn something new on the program. Not go put an estimate in, it was, how do I email this to my client? How do I put a new item into the account? How do I adjust the budget? Whatever it was, but I learned something new every day, and I forced myself to learn the system. These guys, they've got multiple roles. So there's days where he might be doing something else, and I've got a client calls up and says, hey, I need this updated, or I need this estimate now. And it's like, oh, I gotta do it. Which isn't often, but it does happen.
Yeah.
At least now I have the confidence to go in and do it. And I mean, I'm the owner, I should know how to do it.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've taught him, is you need to know how to do everything in the business. And he gets upset with me sometimes because I pull him from one thing to do something else because I want him to learn. The more he can learn, the more successful he's gonna be.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to say, if you have Excel sheets, if he calls me and says, hey, I need the number for this, and I'm out in the field on my phone, I have my SynkedUP app. I can't access all the Excel sheets from the office computer from my phone. So if he ever needs something, we were both looking at the same app, the same screen, same everything.
Yeah.
So much easier. Again, communication, such a big key.
I call him all the time. Hey, can you look this up for me real quick?
That's hilarious. You raise a perfect point. Spreadsheets can do amazing math, 100%. But input, data collection is the challenge. Tracking the time, tracking the material, putting the pictures in. Like, that's the hard thing.
The time clock is a great feature. Time clock is one of the, probably one of our favorite, and that's what we started with.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you guys all said to me, that's the hardest part of the system.
Yeah.
Everybody usually does that last. You guys are doing it first. But that was important to us, was the time.
Yeah.
And tracking the man hours.
Yeah.
Because once you had that tracking, it went right to the job.
Yeah.
I think that was one of our favorite features, that we can go back for payroll. It's not papers and books with, I mean, I used to have a book with 20 guys' names going down it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, across the top, and then hours for every person. Then I got to go take that. Now we just, one click of a report goes right to the payroll company.
Done.
Checks are done.
Love it.
And it tracks it to the minute. Not,
Too close,
we
15
got
minutes.
minutes. They would be closest hour. I'd be losing, 20 guys, 20 man hours if they worked till 5 after and they clicked, we were there. So this way, we're right to the minute now.
Brother, I appreciate it. Thanks a million for having us out here, Eric and I, and giving us the hospitality of sharing part of your day with us.
Well, thank you for coming out and, talking with us and what you've built for the Hardscape community.
Absolutely. I feel the same way to you guys. I don't take it lightly. We don't take it lightly as a company, as a team, when someone puts their faith and trust in us, because hey, I'm voting with my dollars. I'm putting faith and trust in you that you're going to take these dollars and make 10 of them come back to me, and we don't take that lightly. And I just want to say thanks for putting your faith and trust in us in that way. And
appreciate you, bro.
So
We work as a team, and that's what I like.
Yeah, absolutely. So where can people find you and engage with you?
Instagram's probably our biggest, at Anthony Group Hardscapes. Facebook, at Anthony Group Hardscapes and Excavating. Instagram also Anthony Winter Services. Same with Facebook. LinkedIn is my name, Anthony Mann Jr.
We all have our own, so there's Frankfurt Ops Manager, you as the business owner, and me and Riley.
Oh, okay, and then what's your Instagram?
It's just Anthony_Herman.
Cool.
I mean, I do post a lot about the business, but it's also some personal stuff. So.
Sure. Often people want to ask a question or follow up, or they enjoy the podcast and they want to, get in touch.
Any young guys out there that have a question, DM me. I'm an open book. I will help anybody, mentor anybody that wants to learn and get better in this business, and I don't charge for it.
If you don't take advantage of that, that's on you.
I have 20, 30 guys that DM me with questions,
Sure.
and I will help any one of them as long as they're doing the right thing in the hardscape industry.
Fantastic.
Because I want to see our industry get better.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the next one. Keep thriving, not surviving.
There we go. Thank you.